Hello, I'm Koch-Mathews. I'll be presenting The End of the Road. The painting I chose for the artist dialogue is The Study for the Voyage of Life Old Age. It is created by Thomas Cole in 1839. It is presented in Albany Institute of History and Art. The painting was a showcase of what happens when a person reaches old age. The part of the title Voyage of Life is shown in the painting through the person rowing a boat. Old age is depicted by the person getting to the end of the river and shown through the dark oceans. At the end, there's an angel on one side of the riverbed and the dark misty figures on the right, meant to guide the person rowing the boat to their designated space in heaven or hell. The wide ocean at the end is interpreted as chaos and darkness spread before but through an opening in the clouds of a glorious city scene, meaning that after death one will wander about in the darkness and the only way to leave is to go to heaven above. Moving on to the game I made from this painting. It's a game where the player must manipulate time in order to avoid the dark mist in the area, and safely get to the angel that is channeling a path to heaven. There are many challenges in life leading up to one's old age, therefore the player must avoid being any being that might pull them away from the chance to go to heaven. For the 3Cs, the character is you in a different dimension. It's a depiction of the flow of time in the form of you, the player, sailing through a river. The ultimate goal is for you to sail to the end being the last moments of life, old age, and let the angel guide you to heaven. The control, the player has to avoid colliding with the dark mist or they lose. The player can swipe clockwise or counterclockwise, which manipulates the state of time of everything surrounding the player. Essentially, it's manipulating the chances of the player hitting a dark mist and dying. The camera is a top-down third-person view. What's visible is the character in the boat, in the rivers, with the surrounding riverbed. Something to mention is that this game will be a phone game, so it will be a touchscreen. For the game mechanics, we will take a look at the rough sketch of the game, as seen in the middle of the screen. The boat with the player is shown. The dark mists are the small dark blobs, which are set on a predetermined path. The one at the very top moves in a continuous circular manner. The one underneath it, it travels in a kind of swirly manner, and once it reaches the end, it will travel back upwards again in the opposite direction. The mist underneath it will always move to the right, as shown by the arrows. Once it reaches the end of the path, it will be transported to the beginning and then continue to going right. Normally, these path lines are invisible to the player, and they must figure out those paths on their own. At the bottom of the game, there is a meter bar shown. The player can swipe in a clockwise manner to move things forward in time, or swipe in a counterclockwise manner to move everything backwards in time, except the boat. One full swipe in either direction moves everything back or forth 5 seconds. The player can hold down for 5 seconds at a time. The bar takes 5 seconds to recharge fully. The meter only starts depleting at a constant rate when the player has their finger on the screen, and starts recharging when they let go. At the top of the screen, there's a faint blue colored zone. This zone prevents the player from changing time, so the player must alter the time prior to entering in order to avoid the miss. Now I'll talk about the level system. So similar to age, everything goes a lot more rampant in one's middle years. Something commonly found in this game is that the game starts off very slowly and ramps up, and then starts slowing down again. This means that the boat will sail faster through the river in the middle of each level. However, as time passes by, more mist will appear. So towards the end of the game, yes, it won't be as fast-paced as in the middle, but it will become harder to navigate through the multitude of mist. The game loop. The goal for the player is to guide the boat and sailor to the angel that will lead them to the glorious city scene. The obstacle is the dark mist that will try to end the player's life early. If they collide with some of the dark mist, they must restart the level and attempt it again. There's also the zones that make life difficult for the player. The solution is to manipulate the time of the surroundings to your advantage. Take note of the mist's movement patterns and prepare how to approach that mist. So why did I choose this painting? I just really love the interpretation that is made from it. The river symbolizing one's life and the wide ocean at the end were both very unique features, and how the river ends one life's ends as well. Um, Now, why is one of the mechanics manipulating time? For my interpretation, um, I also thought maybe this was the end of the road, and the person is just a symbol for the time that's moving in life forwards and to its end. Time doesn't have any emotions or the ability to make choices. That's why the person that isn't trying to go backwards and live life again. Therefore, the time that is being manipulated is more realistically seen as the player changing one's bad decisions in real life. Now, why are there levels instead of just one continuous loop? As we know, humans' lives do not last forever, so a level shouldn't be infinite either. I wanted the player to eventually find the angel in the end and not completely forgetting about that important part of the painting. That'll be it, and thank you for listening.